Smoked oxtails on the Weber Smokey Mountain. These are amazing. Let's show you how we do it. Let's go. So I was chatting with Walter Boychuk, who follows my channel, and we chat a lot online, and I asked him, hey, do you have any recommendations of things I could smoke? He said, why don't you try smoking some oxtails? Boom, I'm doing it. So we got these beautiful oxtails here. We're gonna smoke them on the Weber Smokey Mountain. Let's just get into these real quick. These are oxtails, which come from the cow's tail. All this great meat around here comes out super tender when cooked properly. So we're gonna end up smoking these, braising them. Let's show you how we do it first. You got a nice layer of fat around here, but we're gonna take that off. That way we could season the meat. So I'll do a quick trim on one of these guys and show you how to trim it up. So again, you got this thick layer of fat around here. You just wanna take it off without really getting into much meat. Once you start getting into the meat, you can stop. A little fat on there is okay. Nobody's really gonna be wanting to bite through that big of a amount of fat, unless you're cooking low and slow, because these are often used for pasta sauces, and all that fat will break down and render into the sauce. But we're not doing that today. We're gonna get down to this meat here. And that's it. That's about all we're looking for. See, there's still some fat on there. That's gonna render down nicely during the cooking process. And we got all that meat exposed wonderfully. So as that cooks and that melts down, all that's gonna do is impart more flavor. Do another one real quick for you here. Cut these down, kind of just to get that fat off and just to start exposing that good meat underneath there. And it'll guide you too. As I'm trying to cut here, this is a little harder, probably some bone there. Not gonna be able to get in there, so move on. Still some fat on there. We're gonna leave that on there and then we're gonna season this up. But look at all this fat that we've taken off already. This stuff nobody's gonna wanna eat. Get rid of it. I'm gonna trim the rest of these up and we'll be back when it's time to season them all. We have our oxtails trimmed up. I'm fighting the sun right now, so if it looks funny, I apologize, but we're gonna push through it. We have our trimmed up oxtails here, and we're gonna season them right now. And I'm gonna be seasoning them with Barbecue Rights Gringo Grande Mexican seasoning, and we're gonna top that off with some Meat Dave all-purpose seasoning. This is gonna give a great rich Mexican flavor to it, and that Meat Dave gives a nice pop because there's some spice behind it, pepper and red pepper. It's gonna be a great combination. So let's get these seasoned up, and we're just gonna hit these all over. Now we're gonna dust them with the Meat Dave. Roll them around, get that excess up here. There we go. We have our seasoned up oxtails. Time to get the grill fired up. Today we're using the Weber Smokey Mountain. We're using Jealous Devil lump charcoal, and we're gonna line this charcoal with cherry chunks. We're using a heat deflector plate. We are not using any water pan in here. We're using the fire dial. And that's it. We're gonna look to keep this around 250 to 275 till it gets a nice color, and then we're gonna braise it. So let's go get this on the grill. Grill's up to temper at about 255 right now. Let's go get these oxtail on. Oxtails are on, we got the lid shut, and we're just gonna let this roll. We'll be back in a few hours to check on color, texture, see if it's time to put into that braising liquid. We'll be back. Oxtails have been going for about 3 hours. I haven't checked on them yet. Let's go take a look, take a couple temps. Then it may be time to pan them up and put our braising liquid in. Let's go check. Man, look at these things. Geez, they're beautiful. Still nice and juicy. I haven't sprayed anything. You can still tell that they're a little tough, and that's why we're gonna put them into a braise. We're gonna treat these kind of like we do beef cheeks, and we really need to break these down a little further. So let's get some internal temps here. Perfect, yeah, we're right about 180. 185. We're in the 180s, but I could tell when probing with the thermometer that these are still tight and need to loosen up. So that's why we're gonna do a braise. Braise is gonna be simple. I'm gonna put them in a pan, hit them with some beef stock, throw some jalapenos in there to maybe get a little bit more flavor. foil it up and let it ride out. Let's go do that. Man, these things are looking gorgeous. And we're just gonna take some beef stock and pour it right in. And we're not gonna fully submerge these. We just want enough to cover the bottom. And that way, as this keeps cooking, it's kind of gonna steam and really loosen all that up and make them super tender. As this was cooking earlier, I chopped up some fresh jalapenos, and I'm gonna throw them in here as well, add a little bit more flavor to this juice. At the end of the day, I'm gonna end up making some shredded tacos out of these. So get a little bit of flavor in that juice. Might use that as kind of a, not necessarily a consomme, but maybe a little extra juice at the end for the tacos will be good. Got the jalapenos in there, let's wrap it up. That's wrapped up. We're gonna let this keep cooking. That heat kind of spiked up a bit because I had the lid open and all that oxygen coming through there. So we're gonna keep a close eye on what this temp is. I'm gonna come back, check maybe half hour, see how tender those have become. And when they get almost fall apart tender, that's when we're gonna take it off and let it rest, cool down a little bit. We'll be back when it's time to check the tenderness. Oxtails are done cooking. They went about 4.5 hours smoking, and that's when I wrapped them up and put them in the braised liquid, which was just beef stock with some jalapenos. That went another 2 hours almost until I got to the tenderness that I wanted, which was an internal temperature around 210, 212 degrees. Pulled that off, let it rest about a half hour. It's still sitting here in the braising liquid. We're about to open it up and shred it apart. Now this looks amazing. It's got such great color. I'm really excited to get into these. Let's take one of these apart here. You can see that braising liquid really got into it. Great color around here. Look how tender this is. It just shreds right apart. Man. Do another one here real quick. You know, it really helped to get that temperature up on these, on the internal temperature, because there are still a couple parts here that don't really want to pull easily, but that's just because of all the connective tissues and everything else in these. It's a really rough cut, and that's why I really recommend doing the braise on them. So there we go. You got some nice pulled beef oxtails here. Got to try some of it, but look at the color too. We got great smoke ring on here, great color from that cherry wood and jealous devil lump charcoal. Oh my God. Holy cow, this is delicious. Kind of like I said with beef cheeks, that's how we treated these. With all that connective tissue and the collagen in there and now the fattiness in there, it's such a rich bite. Delicious, super delicious. So while I have this here, I'm actually got some tortillas warmed up and I got some pickled onions. I'm gonna make a couple tacos. A couple of my corn tortillas here. Add some of this awesome shredded oxtail. Oh man, just gonna be simple. I got some queso fresco and I've got some pickled red onions. Now that's a taco right there, look at that. Look at that, that's gonna be a good bite, oh gosh. This turned out fantastic. This was the first time I've ever smoked oxtails. Came out great. I'm definitely going to be doing these again. You got that good texture, that great flavor from the rubs we put on there. You got that braising liquid that added a little moisture and a little flavor from the jalapenos in there, which I forgot to even try one of these. Got a jalapeno in here. Everything about this is fantastic. Try this at home. If you have any questions, let me know. Follow me on social media, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and we'll talk to you all soon. Thanks again for watching the video, everybody. Take care. Peace.